You know, when you have heart disease, a common fix is putting this tiny metal tube called a stent into an artery for life. But what if that implant could do its job and then just vanish? Well, let's dive into a groundbreaking medical innovation from India that promises to do exactly that.
It really does sound like something straight out of science fiction, right? An implant that helps your body heal and then is just gone, absorbed without a trace. This isn't some far off fantasy, though. It's the very real goal of a new generation of medical tech that's happening right now.
So to really get why this is so huge, you got to look at the old versus the new. On one side, you've got your traditional metal stent. It's a permanent fixture, a lifelong resident in your body. But on the other side, we have this bioresorbable stent. Think of it as temporary scaffolding. The difference is just fundamental. One is a permanent implant, and the other is a temporary guest that leaves once the work is done.
To really appreciate why a disappearing stent is such a game changer, we have to first understand what we're calling the permanent problem. I mean, what are the hidden downsides of these little metal tubes that millions and millions of people are walking around with right now? Okay, so first, a super quick refresher. A stent is basically a tiny mesh-like scaffold. When an artery gets all clogged up, a surgeon pops one of these in to prop it open, and boom, blood flow is restored. It's an absolute lifesaver for so many people, no question about it. But here's the catch. Leaving a piece of metal in your body forever, well, it isn't exactly ideal. It can cause long-term inflammation and even dangerous blood clots, which is a condition called thrombosis. And sometimes the artery actually starts to re-narrow around the stent. That's called restenosis. This can lead to patients needing really complex second surgeries and being on blood-thinning meds for the rest of their lives. So the solution can actually become a whole new problem down the road. All right, so keeping all those problems in mind, let's pivot to this really elegant new solution. What if you could get all the benefits of a stent, all that structural support, but with none of the permanent long-term baggage? Now, the concept here is actually beautiful in its simplicity. Seriously, think about it like scaffolding on a building. You put it up to support the structure while you're doing repairs, right? But once the building is strong enough to stand on its own 2 feet, you take the scaffolding down. This stent does the exact same thing, but for your artery.
And here's how its life cycle plays out in the body. For the first 6 months or so, it's rock solid, providing that critical support as the artery heals up. Then, over the next year to a year and a half, it just starts to gradually and safely dissolve. By the 2-year mark, poof, it's completely gone. It leaves nothing behind but a healthy, fully healed natural artery. How cool is that?
So, who are the brilliant minds behind this incredible breakthrough? Because this isn't just some clever idea on a whiteboard, it's a real-world device, and it's all thanks to a really unique collaboration happening in India.
Yeah, this wasn't the work of just one person. It was a true partnership. You've got Professor Kaushik Chatterjee, who's a materials engineering expert at the prestigious Indian Institute of Science. And then you have Dr. Govindaraju Subramani, a cardiac surgeon who's on the front lines, actually in the operating room. It's this perfect marriage of deep scientific knowledge and real-world clinical needs.
So how did they actually build this thing? Well, it boils down to 3 key steps. First, they had to invent the material. They came up with this custom polymer blend using 2 different FDA-approved materials to get the dissolving rate just right. Second, they used cutting-edge 3D printing to build the stent with incredible precision and strength. And third, they coated it with a special drug that helps prevent the artery from re-narrowing while it's healing. Just brilliant.
Now, look, a great idea in a lab is one thing, but proving it actually works is a whole different ballgame. And this team has already crossed a major hurdle on the journey from the laboratory to the patient. That's right, this isn't just theory anymore. The stent has been put to the test, and the results are looking incredibly promising. It's already succeeded in animal trials, which is an absolutely critical step for proving that it's safe and effective.
So why pigs? Well, it turns out their hearts and their arteries are remarkably similar to our own, which makes them a fantastic model for testing. And the outcome? It was a home run. The stent did its job perfectly. It kept the arteries open, and then it started to dissolve exactly as it was designed to.
So, with those successful animal trials in the bag, the team is now gearing up for the final and most important step, bringing this technology out of the lab and to actual people through rigorous human clinical trials. Okay, so let's just pull back for a second and look at the big picture here. Beyond the amazing science, what is the real-world impact of a stent that just disappears? What does this all mean?
You know, one of the creators, Dr. Subramani, put it perfectly. He said this, and it just cuts right to the heart of the issue. His words are so simple, but so profound. If an implant has done what it's supposed to do, why should it stay inside you forever? It's a simple question that could totally change how we think about medical devices. And the impact here could be massive. For patients, it means a much lower risk of complications down the line and avoiding those tough follow-up surgeries. For India, this is a huge win for homegrown innovation, a made-in-India solution for a problem that affects people all over the world. And ultimately, this could pave the way for safer, maybe even more affordable heart treatments for everybody.
This whole breakthrough really gets you thinking, doesn't it? We use all sorts of permanent hardware in medicine, from these stents to things like the screws and plates that hold broken bones together. This innovation really opens up a fascinating new door, and it leaves us with this one big question. What's the next permanent medical tool that's destined to just disappear?